I'm just some throwback ones. Like when I was in middle school, there's this picture of this girl like making a face and going like this, kind of like
Yeah.
I used to love that picture. Like we used to send that it didn't matter what the conversation was. I was reaction to anything. Like that's like I have a lot of good memories with that one.
Uh-huh. Everybody, thanks for joining us for another episode of the Black Student Success Podcast, where we bring you insight and guidance from successful Black professionals. My name is Selvin, and as always, we appreciate the support. As always, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. We also want to thank the great people at My Black Clothing for supporting the show. So please be sure to follow them and check out their awesome merch in the website below. Today, we are actually introducing a new series where we interview current college students and talk about their experiences on campus. So kicking it off is going to be our good friend, Kortney Nash from UC Berkeley. Hope you enjoy. Kortney, what's going on?
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. Like you said, my name is Courtney and I go to UC Berkeley. I'm from Los Angeles and everything. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm just really excited to be here.
Perfect. And we're excited to have you. So we're going to start the show like we start any other show and ask, who is Kortney Nash?
So, oh my gosh, who am I? I'm a student, of course. I feel like the main thing I am at the moment, just because school takes up so much of my time. I'm also a senior at UC Berkeley, so I'm in my last semester. My situation is a little bit unique because I took a lot of general ed classes during high school. So I was able to start just taking my major classes at Berkeley, which was really cool. Otherwise, I'm also a reader. I love reading. I have a bookcase behind me. You can't really see it. And I like watching anime. I guess that's who I am.
Those are the big things. Perfect. Thank you for that. So let's talk about, what major you're in and then why you actually chose that major.
Yeah, so I'm an interdisciplinary studies major. And so, like the name suggests, I study multiple disciplines or multiple majors, kind of. So it's like a create your own path kind of program. So in this major, I'm taking classes in different majors like legal studies, psychology, African American studies, to study the specific thesis question of how over policing in Black communities affects adolescent mental health and development. So that's you can kind of see why I chose that major because it's really specific.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, I wouldn't be able to study this question as thoroughly if I had just chosen one discipline to be in. So it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy being an interdisciplinary studies major.
Nice. And then was there anything that kind of backed why you wanted to kind of create your own major in this sense?
Yeah, it was when I first got to school, as many students should do, I went to like a lot of academic counseling just to, figure out the different resources available and just, it's a new place, like just trying to figure out what's going on. And at the time I wanted to just be like a psychology major. And so I was telling counselors that, but I was also telling them like what I was interested in. And I got a couple different counselors like, it kind of sounds like you should be like an interdisciplinary studies major. Like this doesn't sound like stuff that you'll be able to just pursue in psychology. And I was also talking about like, well, should I switch to like legal studies or something? And they're like, you shouldn't have to like choose between them because you have this, really intersectional interest. And so yeah, it was really, through the help of counseling that I found the right path to take.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Now some of the activities that you actually got into before you actually got into school, and whether you knew that they were actually geared towards what you're studying now, what were some of those things that you did while you were in high school?
While I was in high school, I mean, I don't feel like I did that much stuff geared towards this. I feel like, well, kind of, because when I think of what I'm studying, like I mostly just think of my community and like bettering my community and stuff like that. So I did like a lot of like volunteer work in my community in high school. Like I volunteered at the public library and stuff every week. Um, that's like the main thing I can think of because I did that for like a really long time. Otherwise, tutored my neighbors and stuff, just like small stuff to like really be a part of the community. And, trying to continue that in college and stuff.
Nice. And now, did that tie into your admissions experience? When you got to the point where you're actually applying for schools, was it volunteering and some of those other activities that you were doing? Did that play a part when you were actually going through the admissions, and not necessarily specifically to Berkeley, but just kind of overall?
Yeah, definitely. Cause when you're filling out the comment app and stuff, I guess that's when I really realized I was like, oh wow, like I do a lot of stuff. Cause I was a Girl Scout, so like I just did a lot of stuff for a long time that I feel like definitely helped on the application. And this was like somewhat unrelated. Like I won an essay contest during high school, which I guess is like, a nod to like just put yourself out there. Cause like you never know what'll happen. Like so I feel like that all definitely helped like make myself a well-rounded applicant and just to like also give me confidence. Because like, I was doing the application, I was filling stuff up and I was like, oh, like I actually feel like, I did some stuff and I didn't even realize it. Cause it just, I don't know, I feel like the main thing about the activities that I did, like sometimes I forget what I did because it was all stuff that like felt natural, like that I was interested in anyway. That just kind of coincidentally was like, oh, like this can go on like a resume or like go for college apps or whatever. So like, instead of having something that was like, this is like pulling teeth, but like I have to stick with it for whatever reason.
Yeah, and it ended up turning into a big bragging sheet for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Now let's talk about your actual college experience. You've gotten on the campus. Let's take out COVID. Let's take out everything that deals with that. But once you got on the campus, what was that like? Academically and socially.
It was really interesting. So I did like the summer semester, like it was called Summer Bridge. And it's when, they have like a whole bunch of freshmen and stuff, like kind of start early together, like that summer semester. And like we all took like a choice of like the same like 5 classes. And they're mostly like all filled up with freshmen and stuff. And like we all dorm with other freshmen. So it was basically like this whole like little freshman bubble to like get you introduced to campus, especially because Berkeley is so big. I think it has like over 30,000 students. And so yeah, that was really interesting, especially because Summer Bridge specifically is for EOP students. And so like EOP, I think is only for like the UC system, but it stands for Educational Opportunity Program. And so like to qualify as an EOP student, you have to be like in an underrepresented group on campus, which would include Black students and Indigenous students, or be, I think, low income or first generation. So, it was nice being on campus with students who you could relate to for that first little semester as well. And yeah, academically, I was like, I'm really glad I did summer bridge because it was like kind of hard over the summer. Like, because I don't know, I feel like when you start school, like you can kind of do a little bit of slacking off towards the end of high school because you've been there for so long. But then starting college, like you want to start off like on a good note, like let's be really thorough about all the work and everything. So I was spending like a super long time like doing the readings for my classes and stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like I feel kind of overwhelmed to be honest. Like this is like more academically rigorous than I'm used to, especially like not even just like doing the readings and stuff, because honestly it's not that much homework for the class. In most of my college class, it hasn't been that much homework, mostly just like doing the readings and taking tests. So then like doing the exams and stuff, like they wanted a lot more than what I was used to giving, during high school. But thankfully, like by the end of that summer, like I feel like I became like a lot more well adjusted to like what taking class at Berkeley is like. And I'm glad I did that over the summer and stuff when we had that extra support instead of like just being thrown in, I guess, in the fall.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So
hmm?
no. Sorry, I was gonna say, the one of the main things it sounds like from that is the academic rigor does go up. And for those who may not even have that opportunity to do something during the summer, just to keep in mind that okay, it's gonna get a little bit tougher, once you get on.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely recommend like for any students their first semester to kind of take like as little classes as possible. I feel like that sounds like counterintuitive. So I'm not saying that like slack off or anything, but like I feel like it's just good to like give yourself the time to adjust because you do see a lot of students overwhelmed, like, because you show up and I think the recommended or like the minimum is like 12 units and like the highest like 20 units. Um, and like I would just say like just take like maybe 2 classes or 3 classes and like some seminar class if you don't have enough units, just because like it's a lot different. At least in my experience, like it was a lot different than high school. So like just like to give yourself a chance, because like socially as well, like over the summer, I didn't really have a social life. I feel like me and my roommate were really close, which was nice because otherwise like I didn't really go out that often. Because it was just like getting used to that level of work. Like I felt so scared. Like if I'm going and hanging out and stuff, like I'm gonna fall behind. Like really. But I feel like because of that, like over the like then when I took my fall classes, I was able to balance it a lot better, and I made a lot of good memories, like making friends and hanging out and stuff like that.
Nice. Good, good. Now, let's take it a step further. Now, talk about your experience being a Black student at Berkeley and what that's been like for you.
Yeah, so like honestly, one of the reasons I chose Berkeley was because of the Black community there. So when when you get into a school and you start doing like the flyouts and stuff like that to see what the campus is like. I went to Berkeley's, what's it called? Senior Weekend, which is a program specifically held by the Multicultural Bridges program, which has like all these different recruitment and retention centers for different like ethnic and racial groups. So I went with the Black students, and it was like it was such a fun time. I just enjoyed it so much. Like it was really like empowering to see such a connected and strong Black community, because like we stayed, it was like me, a bunch of other Black high schoolers at the time. Like we stayed with Black freshmen, like we got lectured by Black freshmen, like they held classes for us to like, give us some tea about what school's like and everything. Like it was really, really nice. So yeah, even being a student now, like the support that you get from the Black community is definitely like incomparable to any other place I've been before. Like we have like this really big like 500-person group chat that like everybody's in. Well, I know 500 people does sound like a lot. That is one thing about Berkeley. It's not that many Black people, which I feel like is why the Black community is like very tight knit. Like yeah, basically just I feel like any resource that you need, you can find within the community, and everybody's like for the most part pretty open about like helping each other and stuff like that. We have like this thing called Afro House. Like it's just an actual house like that people live in like off campus. But it's supposed to be like historically Black, and like they'll make like meals and stuff, and like this types of group chat like, hey, we just made like a bunch of soul food, like anybody who wants to like just walk over and get some. And then I lived on the Afro floor, which was like specific like Black freshman housing. And it was like the top two floors of like this random dorm. And so like people would come by all the time, like, just to visit us, like see how we're doing, give us advice, drop off food sometimes. So like, I don't know, the Black community there, like it definitely feels like a family. Like I think that's what I've missed the most, like being at home and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. The family word definitely stuck out there, and it definitely sounds like that's the environment that they're trying to create. So it's really good that you're able to experience that. Now, lastly, now any advice that you have for anybody who is in high school and trying to get through that process, or even before the applications, what they're doing to kind of get ready before they go to college? Any advice for them?
Oh, that's so exciting. I feel like I would just say to enjoy high school, which I feel like sounds really cliche and cheesy, but like, excuse me, I feel like one of the things like with the work that you do, I would just say like, I feel like people have a lot of interests that they don't really know how to pursue. So I would just say like, for example, me, like I really liked reading, which is why I volunteered in a library. Like just do small things to like see if you enjoy it and stuff like that. Like not necessarily for your college application, but I feel like it just makes life more enriching when you go out and try new stuff like that. And eventually you find stuff that you like, you stick with it. And y'all just say, like have fun with it. Like don't do stuff that you don't like. Like you can definitely find some stuff that will just enrich your life, I guess. That's all I would say. Like high school is a fun time. Like make good memories. Do stay focused though, because school is important and stuff like that. And yeah, I guess like I was gonna say like try not to stress too much, but I feel like that's not really fair because I'm in college and I stressed a lot during high school, understandably. But I don't know, just like very cliche advice of like try your best,
Yeah.
like, and it'll all work out. And I'm sorry to say like really often, but I'm from Los Angeles, and so I feel like it's a regional thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. It's a definitely a laid back feel with everybody in LA. So, no, no, so great advice, so great advice. So, last couple questions, a little bit on the lighter side now. What would you say is the best food on campus at Berkeley?
So personally, I wasn't a big fan of a lot of the food at Berkeley.
Uh,
I'm a vegetarian, so
mm,
my options are already kind of smaller. I mean, personally, I like the food in Oakland a lot more.
mm,
So I found a lot of good soul food in Oakland, a lot of good vegan soul food in Oakland. I mean, I guess like the most famous places in Berkeley would be like Artichoke Pizza. It's like right by some of the dorms, and they like make this really big slice of pizza with white sauce and stuff. It's pretty good. I mean, some people love it or hate it. It's whatever. But
yeah.
it's like, I guess that's this place you have to try if you go there. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else really. notable. I feel like that's the most famous place that students they love because it's open like all hours of the night. They're like, it's 3 a.m. Let's go to Artichoke Pizza. Let's go to Artichoke. Let's get Artichoke. Like,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You gotta love the 3 a.m. places, right?
right.
There you go. All right. Now, lastly, what are your top 3 memes of all time?
Oh, this is a question. I've been thinking about this with my top 3 favorite memes. See, this is a really hard one because I've been on the internet for like all my life now.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just some throwback ones. Like when I was in middle school, there's this picture of this girl like making a face and going like this, kind of like.
Yeah.
I used to love that picture. Like we used to send that it didn't matter what the conversation was. That was reaction to anything. Like that's like I have a lot of good memories with that one.
Uh-huh.
I feel like also, let me think. When I was in middle school, we also really liked that video of the kid. It was like, what's 9 plus 10? He goes 21.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then a third one, I don't know. Now I feel old because I feel like I can't even think of anything recently.
Oh no. That's what I'm supposed to say.
I don't really think of like really old stuff. Man, I'm thinking really hard right now. I guess, I mean, probably like any old Vine. Like I feel like I get most Vine references that people say. So there's Vines as a whole, as the last meme. You can make a Vine reference to me and I'll get it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Vine was definitely a time for everybody. How do you feel in comparison to that to TikTok?
Vine to take. I personally like the shorter form videos better. So it's like TikTok, Instagram, all that. I feel like anybody who can get their joke across in 6 seconds is very, very talented.
Yeah.
And I like it. I don't know. I feel like my attention span was more grabbed with like those shorter videos. You didn't just watch like a bunch of those. With these minute videos, they kind of do a lot sometimes. So I don't know.
You can do a lot in a minute. So perfect. Well, Courtney, thank you. This has been awesome. I'm glad that you're able to share your experience. Any last words for our listeners?
Ooh, I mean, I would just echo what I said earlier. Just try your best and have fun. Like life is short. So just make good memories and everything else will fall into place.